Hi everyone. I wanted to start something a little bit new. Usually, I do book reviews, the occasional bit of commentary on something that's non-book related, very rarely. But there is this big pile of books that I have on my bookshelf by one particular person who wrote all of them. And she's always been one of my favorite writers, and because of the length and, to be honest, sometimes the intellectual heft of what she's talking about, I rarely pick up one of them and read them cover to cover. In fact, I think I've only reviewed one or two of her books on this channel. And her name is Hannah Arendt, the great German and later German-American political thinker. Hannah Arendt was born in 1906 and came here during the 1930s as a Jewish intellectual. You can probably tell why she chose to come to the United States. While she was in Germany, she studied under a great German philosopher by the name of Martin Heidegger, who had a wonderful influence upon her, and they also had a bit of a torrid love affair, as I understand. But anyway, there's this stack of books sitting on my bookshelf, and I've read a few books by her, have reviewed at least one or two, and posted them here. And I really want to read more by her. And the wonderful thing about these books, and I just have 4 of them here. These are the books of essays. They're short, approachable little things, instead of having to sit down and read, on the origins of totalitarianism and all of its 700-paginess. So what I wanted to do was start maybe a series of talks or discussions, or I sort of stammer and hedge at the word lecture, since I don't really want to be talking at you. I want to be talking with you about these essays, because I think some of them are very, very interesting and very, very important. So I want to show you these 4 books right now, and then tell you about the first couple of discussions that I have planned coming up very soon, and then maybe talk about some essays I'd like to discuss in the future. So this first book of essays, which has Hannah Arendt's picture on it, is called The Life of the Mind. It's rather, well, you can you can tell why someone doesn't sit down and read this from cover to cover, because there are essays with the titles of, Pre-Philosophic Assumptions of Greek Philosophy, and Metaphor and the Ineffable, and The Abyss of Freedom and the Novus Ordo Secularum. I mean, one essay is enough to spend quite a while talking about, alright? So what I wanted to do was, like I said, start a series of talks about looking at one particular essay. But this is one of the books that I'm definitely interested in, The Life of the Mind. And there's another series of books that Schocken, the publisher Schocken, came out with several years ago. And also essays by Hannah Arendt. This is Responsibility and Judgment. And then there is The Promise of Politics. And there is Essays in Understanding, 1930 to 1954, subtitled Formation, Exile, and Totalitarianism. That is Formation, right? Okay, Formation. And I'm going to post this as an introductory video, since it's going to introduce a series that I hope keeps on going, that I'll be compelled to continue reading in. The first couple of essays that I wanted to talk about come out of Essays in Understanding. And I was actually sort of goaded back to revisit some of these essays by a friend of mine who I'm going to have a discussion with this coming Sunday. And we are going to read two essays in particular. One is called Understanding and Politics, The Difficulties of Understanding, and the second one is called On the Nature of Totalitarianism, an Essay in Understanding. And if you read the prefatory matter on each essay, you see that they are related. The themes of understanding politics and totalitarianism sort of run through each essay, which is why we wanted to read them in tandem. But I'm going to talk about, in my first talk, which I'm going to record after this video goes up, understanding and politics. I want to discuss it. I want to raise questions about it. I want to criticize it. I also want to do something very easy and simple, which is just summarize the ideas that are in it. But as my friend with whom I'm going to be having the conversation has said, Hannah Arendt can be a difficult writer for a couple of different reasons, and one of those reasons is that she is a little elliptical sometimes. That might have something to do with being a former student of Martin Heidegger. And if you have difficulty in understanding what I mean by elliptical, go pick up Being in Time, and then you won't have any more problems with that. But some of that might have rubbed off, and I suppose that's to be expected. But this is something new that I wanted to work on. I guess I could set a goal for myself of one talk a month, and I've sort of already read those two essays that I talked about. So those should both go up. Well, the first one will go up later today, as well as this video. Hopefully the second one will go up in a couple of days. And then I can start off with February. But I just wanted to tell you about this new series that I was starting. And if anyone happens to like 20th century German political philosophy, or if you know a little bit about Hannah Arendt, she did not call herself a political philosopher, because, as she said in several written and recorded interviews, the philosophical community, both in Germany and in the United States, wanted really nothing to do with her. So she calls herself a political thinker. She completely eschews the word philosopher. But I think she has some really important, interesting things to say, and I'd like to talk about them with you. So if you have any comments, questions, concerns, let me know. Bye, guys.